Hello, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us today. I am excited to introduce you to an amazing woman who has a technique, a skill set, a tool to help her clients in so many ways with their emotional and their physical, because they're connected, health. So I'm excited to introduce you to Dori. And Dori, I'm going to just let you tell us just a little bit about where you're at and what you actually do. And then I'm going to dive into some questions as to how in the world you got to this.
Sure. Hey, everybody. I am Dori, and I am in the Raleigh, North Carolina area, little town called Fuquay Varina, which is just south of Raleigh. Nobody can pronounce it, so don't worry. And what I do is very, very unusual. Everybody sees my drums and they assume that they know what it is, but I can assure you, you'll probably be way off. What I do is known as drum therapy. And I am the one and only certified drum therapist in the state of North Carolina. There are only 3 of us in the South. So when people say, I've never heard of drum therapy, well, that could be why. There aren't that many of us. It's a science-based healing modality. And what I have is a private drum therapy and coaching practice. I often combine coaching and mentoring with the drumming to help people get unstuck and just shift their mindset or whatever they need help with. I customize everything to make sure they hit their goals really fast.
Just like hitting the drums in the right way.
Exactly.
I love it. So how in the world did you get to this particular modality, and why did it resonate with you so much that you went, I can do this and I can help others?
It's interesting. I was a real late bloomer. I used to, business number 2 was Next Stage Entertainment. I used to find, groom, and book over 900 local young bands and solo artists. We are talking rock bands, not marching bands, people. And so I decided, why should the kids have all the fun? Our kids were musicians as well, so they were my first clients. And I just have always loved drumming. I've always had rhythm since I was a kid, but I wasn't able to use it in the way that I wanted to anyway, because my dad said, no drums, here's a guitar. Guitar's quieter. Well, I can't blame him. He was the single parent of 3 girls, and we lived in a 2-family house. So he was worried about the noise and the neighbors, and he had his hands full enough as it was, but he was a musician, in his early days anyway. So you think he would have said, okay, kid, give it a try. But keep in mind, this is going way, way back. And I'm not going to reveal my age, but I am a rocking grandma of 3 grandkids, okay? So in my day, there were no female rock drummers. They didn't exist. Karen Carpenter hadn't hit the scene yet. Nobody knew about Sheila E., who was the first percussionist with Prince. So I didn't really have any role models. I just knew that I loved to tap on everything, either my hands or my feet. If I was using my hands, everything became drumsticks, silverware, pencils, chopsticks, you name it. If I didn't have any of that, I would just tap with my feet. So I did get dance lessons, thanks to a recommendation from a friend of my dad's. Let's put her in dance. See, today, folks, if people saw somebody that hyper, you know what label they would have given me.
True that.
However, I don't like those labels, and I changed them. So ADD in my book is a delightful dreamer, and ADHD is a definitely hyper drummer. And I'm both. So I've always had a lot of energy. Again, don't let my age fool you. So what happened was I'm booking all these bands, and I'm literally on the side stage. And I decided to audition for a rock and church band. Cute. I had heard these guys playing. I didn't know they were a church band. They were an outdoor event. It was like a walkathon. And they're playing cover tunes from the 80s and whatnot. And I'm thinking, boy, this band is really good. Who are they? Somebody said, oh, they're a church band. I'm like, what? They play like that in church? Sign me up. So I did. I went and I visited the church, and they had a program with some information. And on one of the pages, it said, "Would you like to audition for the band?" And I checked, yes. And they said, "What instrument?" And I said, "Percussion." I figured if I tried to wing it on the drum set, because I didn't have any gear, I haven't had any lessons, and I had zero experience. So this was a real leap of faith. And I thought, well, a drum set would be too hard because, you really have to be coordinated, hands and feet. But surely I can stand and tap on hand drums. I saw that they had a whole percussion setup. We're talking bongos, congas, they had some blocks and shakers, tambourine, chimes, the whole 9 yards. They added some other drums, switched them in and out. And I thought, oh, that looks like such a cool setup. I'd really like to try it. So I signed up to audition. My husband and our son, who was the original drummer of the family, by the way, he's way better than I am, but hey, he started earlier. They heard this. They said, "You did what now?" I said, "I signed up to audition." And they said, "But you don't know how to play." And I said, "But they don't know that." Worst thing they can say, "Don't call us, we'll call you," right?
I love it, Dori.
So, you're never too old and it's never too late to rock what you got.
That's right.
That's my motto. So I did. I showed up on a Thursday night and I was just doing the best I could to follow the drummer. Now, keep in mind, at that time, this band really did play cover tunes in church. If it fit with the message, they played it. So we're talking Van Halen, AC/DC, Peter
You're
Gabriel.
familiar with all of that.
If you're familiar with those bands, and then they added in contemporary Christian music also, and some contemporary Christian rock. So all I knew was, they wanted to give me music. I don't need no stinking music. I play by ear. So I just followed the drummer and I passed the audition.
Oh, how fun.
And they said, "We'll see you on Sunday." And I said, "Like this Sunday, like a few days from now?" "Yeah, come on and join us." So I did. And I know in the beginning, I was so hyper because it's so energizing that I probably wasn't very good, but I managed enough on my own to basically get through it. And I got progressively better and I played with them for 13 years. Now, in the very beginning, when I was playing the first couple of times, I realized, boy, hitting a drum with your hands, it's both energizing and relaxing at the same time. I wonder if there's any science behind this.
Oh my gosh.
So I Googled, is there such thing as drum therapy? And I found out there was. So I went for training and I got certified by an organization known as Drums and Disabilities, because business number one, I did business number 1 and 2 at the same time while homeschooling, by the way. So yes, I am.
Of course.
Because, why not?
Yeah. Keep yourself occupied.
Right. So business number 1 was Next Stage Educational Services. And I worked with kids, a lot of kids with ADHD issues, but they turned out to be super bright. And like me, they were just pretty hyper. So I developed right-brained learning techniques for them. And I decided to experiment and add in a little bit of drumming for the kids that were super stressed out. 5 or 10 minutes. Let's take a break. We'll drum. I had a couple of these djembe drums. We sat in my living room. I had private sessions, so the kid would sit across from me. And I would just say, "Okay, take a deep breath. We're going to do something different. And this is not the way I normally would drum with the band, but I'll give you the science behind it afterwards if you're interested." So taught them a couple of techniques. Sure enough, the kids were going from a 40% accuracy rate on their SAT exercises. I was doing SAT math prep and a lot of other tutoring, but in these cases, it was always the math kids. Couple of minutes of drumming, good to go back and do the same problems, 100% accuracy rate on the same problems just after 5 or 10 minutes of drumming.
Releases that stress.
That was it. They were so stressed out because they couldn't focus, and that was messing things up. Now, keep in mind, I've been in the ADHD arena since 1995. When I first became a speaker, it was for educational conferences. Now I do more fun motivational speaking, often with drumming. But at that point, I was helping people reframe those labels. Let's look at what's really behind the symptoms. And I had a 20-year research project called the Gifted ADHD Connection. And I said, here's some of the physical issues that kept coming up as a pattern with these kids. And here are some different ways to help alleviate or reduce the symptoms. And drumming got added in later, much later on. And I found it boosted my results. So I kind of stuck with it.
Yeah.
And everybody who works with me, you'll get a little bit of mentoring anyway, but I do have packages, especially for the ladies who feel stuck in their business or career or life. And that will be more of a coaching program with a little bit of therapeutic drumming thrown in. But it works really well, really fast. The science behind it, for your science geeks out there, is what's happening is you are recalibrating the left and right hemispheres of your brain so you can focus better. A lot of the kids I was working with, I would say 99% of them, because I tested them all, were right brain dominant. Party in their head all day long. Very random, abstract thinkers, no concept of time. Math and language are on the left side of your brain. So we needed to wake that side up. So when you're drumming, it's a full body and brain workout, and you are activating all the different parts of your brain. They've even done MRIs on drummers and whatnot. Even if we just think about drumming, if we're hearing a song, we're drumming in our heads anyway, everything will light up.
Nice.
Drumming seems to work better than any other instrument because you're moving everything. Maybe not your feet so much if you're sitting down playing, but I do move my feet when I drum. And they found out that it had amazing effects on your immune system. It reduced stress.
Mm-hmm.
It boosted those feel-good endorphins. So everybody who drums with me, they giggle, they laugh, they smile, even in a group. It's loads of fun. You don't even realize that what you're doing is therapeutic because you're having so much fun. And before you know it, you'll find out that it makes you feel so much more relaxed, and you're open and you're ready to receive. I did try coaching without the drumming techniques. Didn't work as well. So I found out, okay, these ladies are stuck. They're not doing their homework assignments. I was doing a lot of help with branding and marketing and, positioning them so that, they would stand out a little bit more and move forward in their businesses. And they weren't moving forward. And I said, all right, so this isn't about money or marketing. This is about mindset.
Mm-hmm.
This is right up your alley, right?
Yep. Number one key foundation.
Exactly. So we needed to do some exercises with deep breathing, affirmations. I get a lot of divine downloads. Don't freak out, people. I tell people I am a Christian. I don't do anything New Age, but I also don't hit anybody over the head with the Bible. But they do feel different when they work with me because I see things, I say things, and people are open and available to receive. Because now we've cleared out all that static in the attic, as I called it.
Yeah.
And they see possibilities and they feel so much more relaxed. I might do some creative exercises while we're doing things and to see why they're stuck. And it's like instant epiphanies. And as a result, 93% of my private clients have experienced a breakthrough in 8 sessions or less.
Beautiful.
Who knew? My fun activity of drumming, because I really do like to rock out, and I have played with cover bands, not just church bands. It's loads of fun, but you're really benefiting your body and your brain as well.
Yeah. Such great techniques, such great information, and so much. I mean, I can feel your energy. I just think that's so awesome. I love it, Dori.
And just to encourage the listeners here, you never know how the gifts you've been given can be used in different ways. I originally thought drumming's for entertainment. I never knew about the science. I never in a million years thought I would be drumming with people with all different types of issues. People were asking me, Dori, can it be used for this? Well, let's try it. So I originally thought I was just going to focus on kids and adults with ADHD issues, but it's gone way beyond that. I work with a lot of kids on the autism spectrum, both verbal and nonverbal. Works really well with them as well. PTSD, anxiety, depression. I have a program that it's a train the trainer program. It's a drum ministry training for different nonprofits. So I've trained people who work with at-risk populations, including Teen Challenge, deals with kids with substance abuse issues
Right.
and other agencies that work with victims of human trafficking. Wow, right? Never saw
Yes.
that coming.
Oh,
But I was
beautiful.
able to customize things and to help people create a program that would help these people realize who they are, whose
Mm,
they are, the gifts they've been given, and how, like me, you can use your gifts to bless others. That's why you're here. The gifts are
yeah.
not just for you.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Oh, okay. So I have a couple other questions that some
Sure.
people might be curious about. As you were developing this and moving through and kind of taking one step at a time, what has been maybe the biggest challenge that you've had to overcome or you've had to ask for help for? Because we all run into roadblocks here and there, and sometimes we need help. Obviously, that's why I'm interviewing you, because
Mhm.
you would be one of those helpmates for someone who is stuck. For yourself, what
Right.
were some of the biggest challenges you ran into, and how did you get around them?
Oh, girl, how much time do you have?
I
Actually,
know. Yeah,
there
it's
were a,
true.
there were a few. Branding was actually a really big one in the beginning because people didn't know what to do with me. I am
Mhm.
a different drummer in every sense of the word. So I would go out to networking events and try to compact everything that I just said in 30 seconds.
Yep,
I
yep.
couldn't describe what I do effectively, so people weren't getting it. And they were automatically assuming this is a drum lesson or this, oh, she's a drum circle gal. People were calling me a hippie. People were saying, well, one person, you can't call yourself a therapist. And I said, actually, I can. I went for training long before I met anyone in the drum circle community. I thought I had to, go in that lane because that's all that was out there. But
Yeah.
I realized it didn't fit me, the rock chick, at all. Not my vibe.
Yep.
So apologies to anybody who is a drum circle facilitator. There's loads of really good ones out there, and they do programs that either are guided or just kind of like a free for all. Some of them are free and people come and go. But I wanted something that was more targeted and specific. I call it percussion with a purpose. Nobody got it.
Mm,
So that was a problem. And you got to deal with the haters and the trolls on YouTube and Instagram and get over that. But for me, I was drumming in the very beginning when I was severely injured, but nobody knew it. So
well,
drumming not only helped me heal, I realized that, I had to keep going out there no matter what anybody said, even though they didn't get it. It's now starting to finally catch on, but there's still a lot of awareness that needs to be done so people can realize that this is science-based and highly effective. But yeah, I didn't know that that would be the tool that would help me break free and finally rise up and rock after 3 long years of being in pain with
um,
doctors who had no idea what was going on. I was run over by a speeding bicyclist in a crowd of 200 people. What are the odds of that?
oh my
So I
word.
didn't think I was that injured, and as a result, neither did they.
Yeah.
Oh, it can't be that bad. You're exaggerating and this and that. So I had to deal with a lot of doctors and the insurance company who didn't believe me. And then
Mm,
my symptoms kept getting worse and worse, and we figured out. Well, I figured it out, thanks to God, what is
yeah.
going on, because this is not normal. I was getting all kinds of weird symptoms. And I found out the doctors missed quite a few things. They never checked. Just like with the kids with the ADHD issues, nobody was looking for giftedness.
Yeah.
I saw it, but they didn't.
Yeah.
So if everything looks like, if you only have a hammer, that's the expression. If you only have a hammer, everything looks like a nail. So people
Oh,
will try to box you in based on what they know, and that's what
yeah.
it is. So yeah, overcoming all the stigmas behind drumming, and also overcoming major physical, emotional, mental, spiritual issues. I mean, I was really literally knocked down for the count, but it took me out of the game for like I said, 3 years. But I kept going out there with a cushion to sit on because my tailbone was killing me, along with a whole bunch of other things. And I just said, well, I'm just going to keep doing this. And I think that's a good message for people who may be feeling like they're giving up. This isn't
Mm,
working. I don't know what to do next. I tell people, don't give up, reach up. Sometimes you need to ask for help.
yes.
And if you don't believe in God, that's okay, but you need to ask for help from someone, a therapist, a pastor, a trusted friend. Everybody could use an accountability partner or just somebody who
Yes.
will, not only lift you up, but give you some tough love when you need it. And I tell people, brace yourself. I don't hold back. I am very nice. But, sometimes you need to hear some things that can help you. Again, you got to be willing to be helped.
Right. Right. When the benefits are greater than the pain, that's when we're ready to try something new, you know?
Yeah, when
So,
you know that whatever you're doing is not working and
right.
you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, or you're sick and tired
Yes.
of not making any money, or whatever your issue is, you hit that breaking point and just say, I talk to God a lot. I just say, I
Yeah.
got nothing.
Yeah.
Really, I got nothing.
I got nothing.
So I've been trying to do everything on my own, so you try to do everything on your own, and this is great. I'm doing this for God. And then you ask God to bless it. It's like, that's not the way it works. You're supposed to be following the guidance that you've been given. And that way you'll be in the right lane at the right time, doing the right things. So with me, I've been doing this for 12 years, but there were a lot of misfires. And that's okay. It's okay to make mistakes as long as you learn from them.
That's right. So along the way, what has been your biggest joy?
Uh, the biggest joy is seeing the breakthroughs.
Mm.
Oh, I'm going to get all verklempt here. I
Mm,
might need a tissue.
yeah.
But I have seen some amazing things that nobody expected.
Oh,
Sometimes parents, for example, of special needs kids, I always ask the client or the parent, what are your goals here for our sessions? And they'll usually give me a couple, like for kids on the autism spectrum, I'd like something for emotional regulation because, they have anger issues a lot of times if they can't communicate, especially. And I'd like them to be able to focus better. Okay, easy. Okay, we've done that. There's always bonuses, though, that nobody expected. Like, oh my gosh, this kid is talking now. It's like after 3 sessions, what? Or speaking more, or women who are trying to move their business forward and they were so stuck, and it was like, bam, now suddenly they have this major breakthrough. Oh, I didn't see that, Dori. Thanks for pointing that out. Now I know why I'm stuck. A lot of times it goes back to past issues. Something was
sure.
said to them that held them back and they held on to that.
Yep.
Or it might be physical issues. Like, Dori, I've been
Right.
dealing with pain and numbness on my right side for 3 months or a year or whatever. And boom, boom, boom. Here we go. We're good. How's everything now? I don't have any numbness or pain anymore. It's like,
Amazing.
again, and this is all God. I'm just a vessel, and so are my drums. I don't want people to think that I'm some sort of miracle worker or whatever. But I do know that
Beautiful.
if nothing else, I can guarantee these two things. You will feel less stressed and you will feel joy. And you'll
Mm,
get a definite major dose of encouragement because that's how I roll.
beautiful. Beautiful. All right. So for our listeners, who is an ideal, if you were to just pinpoint your ideal clients that you know you love to work with, they love working with you, and they are going to see results. Who might that be?
Well, I wish I could narrow it down to just one, but I can't. So it's mainly kids and adults with ADHD, autism, anxiety and stress, and gifted and at-risk populations. I'm sneaking that
Mm,
gifted in there. Nobody knows what that word means either, but ask me. It's not what you think. And
okay.
it's often misinterpreted. And these are really bright, creative kids, and it's always a joy. And the adults, it's always a joy to give them some good news. Like, those labels you've been given, this is what I see. And they're like,
Beautiful.
they had no idea. So yeah, just seeing that and seeing people break free from what's holding them back, priceless.
Wonderful. So where can people reach you?
I'm everywhere. I'm all over social media and YouTube. You can just look for me at nextstagedrumming.com. That's my website. On YouTube and Facebook as Next Stage Drumming. I also am on Instagram as at Next Stage Dori, Dori. So yeah, if you need any extra encouragement or you'd like to see some fun drumming videos, you can go lots of different places, but please feel free to reach out. If you do stop by my website, keep in mind my web designer and I are in the process of tweaking a few things, so it's going to look different in a bit. And I do offer a free resource for people if they like to sign up for my very encouraging monthly newsletters.
All right. So, listeners, you can reach Dori Staehle. It's DoriStaehle at nextstagedrumming.com. And just get to know her. Reach out and see what kind of a package or resource or tool she has that can help you make your life more joyful, less stressful, more fun, and more worth living. So, Dori, thank you so much for being with us today. It's been an absolute joy. I will add your information underneath our video, but everyone, be sure you reach out to Dori and let her know how much you loved getting to know her just a little bit here on our BJ's Connections podcast. Thanks again, Dori.
Thank you for having me, BJ. I really appreciate it.